It's the Lagos Digital Public Relations Summit.
The opportunity to work with influencers and celebrities. And in 2019, I signed Burna Boy as the first brand ambassador for the Star Lager brand. Following that, I also signed Kiss Daniel for two of our brands, Star Radler and Legend Extra Stout. I've also worked with smaller scale influencers like Wofai for some of our Heineken campaigns. And really just to speak about the strategic framework for influencer marketing done right. This is something that I want to share, and it's a 5-step framework. It really starts with identifying the need, selection and screening, negotiation and contracting, content creation, as well as measurement, learnings, and rights management. Next slide, please. But what is the context about? Why influencer marketing? How did we get here? I think advertising is changing. It has moved from traditional formats, especially because of younger audiences who are digital natives. They're constantly on their phone. And the true power of influencer marketing is really the opportunity for a real, genuine connection with consumers that also embodies creativity and collaboration. But who are influencers, or what are influencers? An influencer is someone with the power to affect buying habits, or quantifiable actions of others by uploading some form of original content to social media platforms. So keywords there, someone that is able to change or has the power to change your habits. Someone that is also able to create original content. So it's not stolen content, it needs to be original content. And the person should be able to have technology or digital as a platform where they would share that content.
Location targeting is very important because it doesn't get to show your ads. You don't get to focus your ads on places that are not important or places that are not intensive and very, very important to you, especially when you're trying to work on a limited budget. It's a budget thing, very, very, very important. Demographic. I'm not sure, has anyone seen how the raw data looks like? So let me put it this way. If someone wanted to target like my profile, right? First thing they would look at is location, Lagos, device, Android, browser, probably Chrome. Then they will now put a login and a latitude. Then they will now pick out most common category of websites that you go to, etc., etc. That's how a user profile is generated, right? So when you are trying to sell a product, every product has a key demographic, right? There's a key demographic, there's a way your behavior is.
But let's now go to how do we humanize corporate brands. So we have something called B2B, business to business, right? We have something called business to consumers. A couple of years ago, when I started doing my PR strategy, I kind of just took that business to business and business to consumer out of my work. Because whether you're a consumer, whether you're a business, who are you at the end of the day? You're a human. So it's business to human. Don't treat me as a corporate. I'm a human being. And the person next to me is different to the person on my left is different to the person on my right.
That's how you nurture those conversations. How do you bring the humanity into what you're communicating? That's the first thing. And then the second thing is not being creative about that conversation or being creative about that communication. I'm using the word communication a lot because really that is it. What I'm doing right now is communicating to you, right? So it's all formal. Everything is a form of communication. So one, it's about bringing the humanity there, and two, being creative about it. To just give you a simple example, I had an experience recently, and I had it with a bank. A known brand, that bank, I just made a comment on my Instagram. It was like a complaint or an observation of that brand, of that bank, and I copied them. You know how you tag, you tag a company when you're of people responded to it was on a story, so it wasn't, it wasn't public per se. People were responding in my DM. And then 2 days later, the bank responded. And I thought it was actually a human being, but I realized it was automated because the person said, "Dear," I mentioned my name, my Instagram handle. I said, "Dear," my Instagram handle. I said, "Apologies for responding late. How may we help you?" Which was weird because I made a complaint. So I said, okay, maybe whatever, maybe the story has gone. And I said, "Oh, I just made a comment about this." I wanted to ignore it, but I decided not to ignore it. I said this was an opportunity to speak. And I said it. And then 2 days later, "Hi, my Instagram handle. Apologies for responding to this late response. How may I help you?" And I said, I just copied what I wrote the first time, I said it again. Next day, it wasn't 2 days now, the third day, "Hi, Instagram handle. Apologies for," and so you realize that was an opportunity for, even if the first one was automated, I can understand. There should be a human or a human being behind that chat box or whatever that is now going the extra level. So you've caught my attention by responding the first time. And so that's why I talk about the humanity. So if you want to nurture, so I didn't feel pleased, even though I wasn't really angry, but I wasn't happy about that response. I didn't feel I was heard. So it's one, about the humanity in your communication, and two, about being creative, which talks about storytelling. And that's
hello everybody, I'm Datari Ladejo, CEO of Fernhill Digital Consulting. We're a consulting group headquartered here in Lagos. So in terms of nurturing authentic and meaningful conversations online in the digital space, there's so many ways of looking at it, and I feel that as professionals in this industry, we need to look beyond our role and start looking at human psychology and what people are really thinking, what their needs and wants are. For example, there's a theory that you can go and Google, Maslow's theory of, it's a hierarchy of human needs, right? The first, or the top of that pyramid, is self-actualization. The second part of that pyramid is belonging and esteem. So everybody wants to feel like they are wanted or they belong to something. So we have a unique opportunity in this digital ecosystem to really foster and nurture communities, and I think that's something that we can tap into a lot more to build these authentic conversations. And we have a lot of clients coming to us these days wanting to build these communities, and sometimes it feels forced. I think one thing that brands can leverage more is generating conversations or putting out topics there that allow the community to almost build itself, monitoring conversations, sparking thought. Another way I would say in terms of being authentic these days is paying attention to the climate that we're in Nigeria. For example, sometimes you can be on social media, you can read things going out, and we're in an economic crisis to an extent, right? And if you have brands that are just stuck on their strategy, stuck on their plan, trying to market to you, trying to sell to you without recognizing the fact that people are finding it difficult these days. The purchasing power is not quite the same as it was this time last year. So before you try and sell something to someone, or you try and push your product or your service to your audience, are you also taking into cognizance the realities of their situation right now? How are you addressing that?